one of the last speakers, I was wondering, okay, how can I engage the people? Because, you know, you're all tired, and probably also it's a weekend, so you want to go home. And I was thinking to myself, what would I like? And I like manga, and hopefully you also like to read mangas. If not, then still stay please with me, because I transformed myself into a manga character for the presentation, which you will see in a second now. Because each slide will be like a different kind of chapter of something that I went through in my life as a product manager. But before we deep dive into the hype and product market fit, on what kind of lessons I have learned building an AI product, I want to introduce myself firstly. So my name is Deniz. I'm a senior product management consultant at Product People. Product People is an interim product management consultancy. We help companies out when, for example, there's a need for product managers, but somebody's like the hiring takes longer, or somebody went to a sabbatical. We come in and help out for the interim period. And with that, I was able to work at different kind of industries, in fintech, marketplaces, but also in AI products. And that's what the story will be about building an AI product for the legal tech industry. So we will start with the first chapter, because one of my clients was a legal tech company. And I was hired to kind of build an AI product there. This legal tech company actually exists for 2 decades already, so they are quite successful in Germany and also in the Nordics, because they're acquiring a lot of companies. And they wanted to be kind of more modernized. They wanted to jump on the hype train of AI. And that's why they needed like a product manager to like streamline everything, build like a roadmap, etc. And I was like, yeah, I'm up for the challenge, because this sounds super interesting. I have a different kind of knowledge that I can bring into, etc. So what I did is I joined the company. I went to my first meeting, and I was just listening, because that's what I always do when I join a new client. I first listen and talk to people to understand where they are coming from. And I was seeing that there was a director of product. He was selling like a chatbot, because everyone's doing a chatbot. This is the way to like kind of like solve all the problems from the lawyers and legal professionals. And they had a kind of a goal, which was good actually. The goal was to increase productivity from legal professionals and lawyers. But was chatbot the answer? And I was asking questions like, why do we build a chatbot? Why do we want to do this? And they said like, because everyone's doing it, and probably this is the solution. I was like, okay, cool. This could be the solution probably, but did you talk to lawyers? Like, did they ask for a chatbot? Did they ask for something else? And the answer was, no, not really, but we are assuming that this is the right way. And that's why I said, stop, please don't do it. Like, this is not the way to build products in general, but also specifically AI product managers. But I was not like this crazy, like I was just more polite. So what I had to do first is you have to switch the mindset of the people, because everyone is in this hype train. Everyone wants to build the same type of thing. It seems like you have to use AI, but do you really have to use AI? And that's why it's very important to like educate the company. And you don't have to do it alone. So I was not alone in this journey. I found people within the company that were thinking like me. So we formed a group, and then we started like having like a company-wide presentation where we tried to change the mindset. And that's where I said AI is not a feature. Like, a lot of people think AI is a feature, but AI is not a feature. AI is an enabler to deliver a new kind of feature, maybe a feature that you could never like release before. Then the next one is not having like big bad thinking. So for instance, which is also related to my third point, let's build a chatbot. Not let's say, let's build a chatbot, let's see if it sticks. That is not the way to do it. You really have to do hypothesis-driven. So our hypothesis is that a chatbot could be needed to solve a problem. So understand the problem first, and then figure out if the chatbot is the solution, if AI is actually the solution, because it doesn't have to be. Then, of course, fear of missing out, because a lot of companies are afraid to miss out on it, but don't. Like, take a step back and look if there's a clear use case behind what you want to build. And lastly, which was mentioned a couple of times today, actually, is the black box magic thing. A lot of people think that AI can solve everything and quickly, and a lot of people also are afraid. So it is very important to create a transparent value. What does it mean? So basically, first, what I said before, is AI actually needed? And what are the limitations of AI? So you really have to talk to your engineers and your researchers to figure this out. But also for your end customers, because in my case, the lawyers were kind of like hesitant sometimes to use AI because legal practices require a lot of like data protection. So you have to be very transparent. So if you develop a product, you really have to explain how that product works. What is AI actually doing? Where is your data stored? And that also you have to safeguard yourself because AI can hallucinate. So you really have to say whatever you like show at the end, you have to like say this is AI generated. Please double check, etc. In that case, now after like changing the mindset of the company and saying, hey, AI is not the solution for everything, I took the next step, which was going into the product discovery mode. So basically, something that every product manager is, of course, aware of. I went to my director of sales and said, I want to talk to lawyers. I want to talk to our most loyal customers in that space, and I want to figure out what their pain problems are. So I did the usual like product discovery calls. I asked different kind of questions, the questions that you see, like if you had a magic wand, what would you automate? I left the AI questions until the end, because again, it's not about AI, like it's not always have to be about AI, it's about the problems you want to solve. But at the end, I actually asked a few AI questions, but I didn't ask questions like, if we would offer AI, would you like it? What would you expect? I ask them more practical things. I ask them, are you currently using AI, like an LLM or something else, to automate your work? And don't use our product, but use a different kind of product. Do you use ChatGPT to like summarize all the legal documents you have, etc.? Because that way I can discover, hey, there's a lot of jumping around different products. They use our products for managing their clients. They use ChatGPT to like summarize stuff. So I was trying to figure out if there's like a market potential for our products to expand using AI, so we don't have to switch through different kind of products. So the next chapter is building the right thing. So I discovered the problems that they have. And it's a lot of like, the majority of the problems were actually admin tasks. As I said, the legal documentations are super long, like multiple pages, with like a lot of deadlines, a lot of like clauses you have to like really read. And it's a hideous work because they're sitting, reading. It takes a lot of time. So the question here is, okay, I discovered that a few problems, but how can we build it? And one thing that I believe, especially in B2B context, in B2C it's also possible, but a bit more tricky in my opinion, but in B2B context, you can actually build together the product that you want to build with your most loyal customers. And that's again where I was actually in the beginning, before I talked to the lawyers, I asked the director of sales, as I said, who are our most loyal customers? Because these will not just leave us immediately. They are like open for feedback. They are also very straightforward with the feedback. And that's why I started to build together a product with them. So I identified together with them what we can solve, how it could look like. We had like workshops, etc. And so in this way, you have an outcome, which is like you can build real trust. They know as you go what you build, so it's not a big surprise. And if your most loyal customers at the end like what you built together, it's very likely that it is scalable, and you can also expand it to other customers. But there are some traps that you have to avoid, and that's a very important job for the product manager. So the first one is that you become like an AI feature factory. So as a product manager, of course, you have to say no, like this is our job. But as like someone who's building an AI product, you have to say more times no than ever before, because every stakeholder, everyone has like an idea, and they always come with solutions to you. So you really have to say no. Does it really align under like a vision? Does it align with our North Star? Because if it doesn't, you have to say no. So you really have to avoid the AI feature factory, because if you don't, you will build a Frankenstein product. So it will have like cool features maybe here and there, but no real soul. Nothing is really interacting with each other. So what is very important is you have to have a vision. You have to have like a strategy that is driving the vision, and the strategy is built by the roadmap. So in this case, in the company I work for, we said we want to have like a digital twin. So every lawyer should have like a digital person, a colleague who's doing your job, not everything of course, but the hideous job that you want to do. And this was our our North Star. This was our vision that we wanted to achieve. And then the strategy was the roadmap. And how I built the roadmap is basically through the discovery I did, but I will come to that also in a second, what I did specifically there. And lastly, it's very important, if you want to say no, it's very important to have like a feature veto checklist. What does it mean? So basically, this checklist can look different for any company, but it can also be very simple. So have like some questions for you and your team to answer before really committing to a problem. So first of all, are we really solving a problem? Yes or no? Yes? Awesome. Next question. Is this problem related to our North Star? Can we achieve it? Can we move some metrics? Yes? No? If yes, awesome. Next question. Next question would be, do we really need AI for this? Or can we also build something else that is not needed? So again, yes, no. If it's a yes, okay, cool. So now we have found like a problem. We found that it's aligned with our North Star. We found that the AI could be the solution. Now we can start thinking about the solutioning, how to build it, etc. So this kind of like feature veto checklist for yourself and for your team can help you to not lose track. It's like your compass at the end of the day. Another thing that I want to mention is the prototyping and dog fooding. So basically, prototyping is more important than ever before. Why is that? It's because depending on, of course, on your audience, some are more tech savvy. That's cool, but legal professions are not all tech savvy. So when you want to like sell or show an AI product, you have to feel it. It's not enough anymore to have like Figma UI designs, but it has to be like a very scrappy prototype that they can use to test. And I'm actually personally someone who likes a very nice design. It doesn't matter if it's a B2C, B2B product, but I have learned that for this kind of like prototyping for AI products, you have to like forget about beautiful design. It just really has to get this stuff done, and then it's very amazing, and that's very important to do. And for the prototyping, of course, you have to involve your engineering team from the get-go, because they can help you with prompt engineering, with using the right model, etc. Another thing that I really liked is mock data and dog fooding. So because building great AI products, everyone said it before me, if the data is shit, then everything else is also not good. So the data is really, really good, needed. Unfortunately, we don't always have the data, but you can have mock data. And there's a lot of open source data that you can use for different scenarios, depending also industry-specific data. But you can also like just create your own type of data, which is not the perfect. But it's very, very important to do it, to test your models and see if it goes, and dog food your product. That's my favorite activity, actually. So not only I am testing the product that I'm building, I'm actually involving all my internal stakeholders as well and say, can you please test it? Do you like it? Is it intuitive, etc. So it's very, very important that you don't only test the product and the prototyping with your end customers, but also use it with your internal stakeholders. Because again, in a B2B context, your sales team is the one that is selling the product that you're building. So it's also important for them to understand how the product works. It's important for them also to give feedback to the product. So in this case, in this company that I have been my client, what did we actually build? So basically, when we discovered, like when I was talking to the lawyers and legal professionals, chatbot was not one of the first things that they mentioned. They wanted to kind of like automate some repetitive works. So what we did as a first step is actually that the AI behind the scene, or like an LLM, we have used Claude in this example, is automatically analyzing and summarizing the documents that you upload. So you don't just, like for example, if you want to use ChatGPT and you drag a document there and you say, please summarize. We said this is hideous. Like in our case, the lawyers drag a document into the product, and the LLM automatically summarizes it. So you don't have to even use a prompt. also, additionally, on top of that, the LLM is extracting key stakeholders and key deadlines from the documentations and creates a database with the key stakeholders, their names, email addresses, or whatever, phone numbers, and also creates a timeline automatically with the important deadlines with short information on what the deadline is about. Because, for example, you have to go to the court, or you have to get back to your what's called your client on a lawyer side to ask some feedbacks. So they immediately see it. And this already saved a lot of time. But we also identified things for the future. And this was where a chatbot could have made sense, because at that point of time, it was part of the roadmap, but I actually had already left. So potentially, we are building it right now. But we identified that lawyers also wanted you have a knowledge base with all the different kind of cases that they deal with and all the different kind of documents that they deal with. So like a kind of knowledge base that we can, for example, in the future, if they have a new case and they upload the case, they can ask something like, hey, did I have some similar case before? What were the strategies that I did? Did I win this case, etc.? So being more strategic, having more strategy behind it. And in this case, yes, a chatbot could make sense, maybe not, but this was part of it. And there's one thing that I want to mention, it was also mentioned, I think, in the 2 talks or 3 talks before, is the opportunity solution tree. Because as a product manager, and not only AI product manager, it's one of my favorite things ever, having opportunity solution tree. Because this way, you can collect all the problems, opportunities you can solve for your customers, build this tree, and this tree is actually the basis for your roadmap, and the roadmap is the basis for the strategy, and the strategy is the basis for the vision. So everything adds up on top of each other. So this is something I built for the company before I left. So I said, hey, these are the opportunities you can tackle as the next step. If I have to summarize now everything a bit in a 5-step plan that I would use moving forward in my next client where I have to work on an AI product, it will be this. So basically, the first thing is, of course, very obvious, but still, if you're in a hype-driven environment, you have to take a step back. You have to say, what is the problem we are solving here? Not we want to do AI. Okay, what kind of problem do we want to solve? And is AI the solution actually or not? Second one is you have to align that problem and under a living vision. Why do I say living vision here? Because a product vision also changes, such as AI changes, also product vision changes. So you have to adapt your vision every now and then. And if your vision changes, you have to see and look at the problems that you discovered before, if the problems are still up to date, or if you have to look for new problems to solve. The third one is co-build with champions. So again, I'm a firm believer to build products together with your internal stakeholders or with your most loyal customers. And B2B, I do believe if you have a close relationship with your sales department, it should be easy to find the most loyal customers, engage them. They're actually super happy to do it. They really like it. And B2C, again, can be tricky, but you can find them as well. The fourth one is dog food and iterate. So really use your own product. Don't just say, even if the customers are happy, you have to be happy first, and then the customers have to be happy first, and then the stakeholders. So it's very, very important. And also iterate, right? And the last one is veto hype-based features. So speak up. Speak up in your company when you say, this is just hype. This is not really solving a problem. This is not aligned with our OKR or our North Star. And again, everyone has to create their own kind of checklist for their own companies. But as I give an example, the checklist doesn't have to be very complicated. It can be super easy. But you have to speak up, so you have to be brave enough to speak up. If I have to reflect on everything that I said now as well, is one thing I want to really, if there's one thing that you should take away from my talk here, is that don't build fast. I know the AI, the industry and everything moves very, very fast, or so it seems. But in theory, AI exists for a long, long time. But just for the past 3 years, it's really in the public eye. And so I don't want everyone to think oh my God, we are missing out. I want everyone to really step back and build something that lasts, because this is more important, because technology will always kind of change, and you don't have to it doesn't make sense to run behind trends. It is more important to run behind problems, solve them, and use the newest trend, newest AI or other tech that can solve it. And that's actually it from my side. So it was like my journey on how I tried to change the mindset of a company in the legal tech industry, find someone in the group, in the company, educate everyone, say no, and build something that really lasts. If you want to connect with me or if you have any questions, I'm still here, or you can scan the QR code. I thank you, everyone, for your time. I appreciate it.